The Witch of the Hollow Inn. In the shadowed heart of medieval Europe, where the Black Forest sprawled like a living shroud over the land, there stood a forsaken hotel known as the Hollow Inn. Its timbers were warped and blackened, as though scorched by some unholy flame, and its windows stared out like hollow eyes, unblinking in the perpetual gloom. Travelers whispered of it in hushed tones, warning of a presence that lingered within, something ancient, something malevolent. Yet, for the desperate or the foolhardy, it offered the only shelter amidst the endless woods. It was the autumn of 1347, and a storm raged through the forest, its wind shrieking like the damned. A lone traveller, a merchant named Elias, stumbled upon the inn after his horse perished beneath the tempest's fury. Drenched and shivering, he pounded on the oaken door, its iron hinges groaning as it creaked open of its own accord. The interior was a cavern of shadows, lit only by a sputtering fire in a hearth that seemed to devour light rather than cast it. Dust clung to the air, and the scent of rot seeped from the walls. "Greetings, wanderer," came a voice, soft as a serpent's hiss. From the gloom emerged a woman, her presence both captivating and repellent. Her hair was a cascade of midnight, her eyes glinting like polished obsidian, and her robes hung about her like tattered wings. She called herself Isolde, the keeper of the Hollow Inn. Elias, weary and half-mad from the storm, accepted her offer of a room, though a chill gnawed at his bones as she led him up a staircase that creaked beneath invisible weight. The room was sparse, a sagging bed, a cracked mirror, and a window that rattled as if something outside sought entry. Isolde lingered at the threshold, her lips curling into a smile that promised secrets too dark to name. "Sleep well," she murmured, and the door shut with a finality that echoed through the inn. That night, Elias dreamt of a woman burning at the stake, her screams swallowed by a crowd of faceless figures. He awoke to the sound of scratching, faint at first, then insistent, as if claws raked the walls. The mirror reflected not his face, but hers, Isolde's, her eyes boring into his soul. Panic seized him, and he fled the room, only to find the hallway stretching endlessly before him, doors lining its length like silent sentinels. Each door he opened revealed horrors, a skeletal figure clawing at its own flesh, a child with no eyes weeping black tears, a man suspended by chains that dripped with blood. And always, Isolde's laughter followed him, a sound that burrowed into his mind like a worm. The inn itself seemed alive, its walls pulsing faintly, its shadows shifting to trap him within its labyrinthine depths. At last, he stumbled into the common room, where Isolde awaited him by the fire. "You cannot leave," she said, her voice a blade. "The Hollow Inn claims what enters it." She raised a hand, and the air thickened with a sickly green mist. Elias's legs buckled as visions assaulted him, centuries of travelers ensnared by her will, their souls woven into the inn's very foundation. She was no mere woman, but a witch, bound to this place by a pact forged in blood and flame, her power growing with each life she devoured. Desperate, Elias seized a poker from the hearth and lunged at her. The iron struck true, piercing her chest, and for a moment, the inn shuddered as if in pain. Isolde's form dissolved into ash, her scream echoing into silence. But as Elias staggered toward the door, the floor beneath him buckled, and the walls groaned a final, vengeful dirge. The Hollow Inn collapsed inward, swallowing him whole, leaving only a void where it once stood. Years later, a new inn rose in its place, built by hands that knew not its history. Travelers spoke of strange dreams and fleeting shadows, but none lingered long. In the depths of the forest, where the wind carried whispers of the past, the witch's laughter lingered still, waiting for the next soul to claim.